Let's talk about data type definitions in Java. Hello everyone, I'm Ali Reza. Welcome to the Mentor Code Lab. Today we are gonna talk about different data types and how to define them with Java syntax. If you don't know what are data types, we have a dedicated watch list for the theoretical knowledge called Programming for Beginners. Go and watch those videos. We talk about all of these data types there. Now, declaring different data types are as simple as this. Either you are in the scope of the class or you are in the scope of a method. In the scope of the class, you need to put the accessibility first. So for example, a private. However, in the method, you don't need this accessibility and you will continue from here on. Then you want to put the type, for example, integer. So integers in Java start with int and all lowercase. And then identifier, my number, equals to, and then the number. You can assign floating point numbers, like, let's call this one protected, float, my float equals to 5.99. And if I put the semicolon, it gives me an error. For float variables, you have to put this F word at the end of the number. Then we have character types. So let's call this one public char, and this is my letter equals to apostrophe, the character, and that's it. For booleans, let's call this one, let's move it to the method so that there is no identifier there. Boolean, and we call it my bool equals to true, okay? And finally, the string. Now, pay attention. Up until now, integer, float, character, and boolean were lowercase. String starts with capital word. For whatever reason, it became a class and not a data type. I know why. Because a string has lots of manipulators. And normally, you put strings between double quotations. You put characters between apostrophe, okay? And finally, double, my double equals to any number with lots of, actually up to 15 decimal positions. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Wow, let's put a 9 and that's it. So that's the precision of a double. And for double, you don't need any words at the end of the number. And that is the data types. You can come back and print any one of them and see the result. However, for numerics, we have more. If you watch the tutorial videos, you know that we have byte value and we call, for example, my byte equals to 127. Remember? Because 28 is above a byte. So a byte goes all the way to 127 and you can't have 28. It will yell at you. So that's the byte. Short, and call it my short equals to, I don't know, 5,000, and it works. Again, we have limitations here. For example, for short, you can't go above 32767. If I make it 8, it will yell at you. Again, all these limitations are being talked inside the theory videos. So you saw already the integers, floats, and doubles. We have long. So we call it long, my long equals to a very, very, very big number. This is the upper limit for a long. So as you see, when I type it, it says integer number too large, because like float, long need an extra letter at the end, and that is capital L, okay? So this is the biggest number. However, there is a trick that not many people know. You can separate 3 digits with underline, and it works as a 1000 separator in text. Now it works as a number. So if I move my mouse here, you see that it's there. And if I println it, system.out.println, that my long, and run the program, you see that those underlines are not there. It's a little trick that not many people know, but it makes this number much more readable compared to what it was. So again, you can say 32,767, and that's it. So that is our numbers. Now we have something else, and that is how we put scientific numbers. Now remember, scientific numbers are numbers that go from a value between 1 to 10 normally with multiplication of 10 powered to a number. That is how we show a scientific value. Let's say double D1 equals to. Now we want to assign it as a scientific value. If we say 12E for D, and let's print this guy. So system.out.println our D1. Let's run it, and you see it goes 4 zeros in front of 12. Basically, it is equivalent of saying, hey, 12 multiplied by 10 power of 4. And that's it. So if you want a scientific value as you normally use in science, it would be like this, okay? So 1.2 multiplied by 10 power of 5, basically. And that is how you put a scientific value inside Java. Booleans are easy, actually. Booleans are just yes or no, true or false. So either you have a true as 1 or 0 as false, and if you print it, it will just print true or false. So if I print my boolean, run the application, you see that my value is true, okay? Characters, again, either is a string or a char. So if I now print my letter first and then my text and run the application, you see that it says D and then hello. So it doesn't matter, you know, you can print any one of them, and if it's boolean, it will return the value as true or false. It's a character or a string, it will return the character or the string. If it's a numeric value, it will print the result of that numeric value. Even if we assigned it as scientific values, it's still returning the result as a number, and that's it. Now we have some non-primitive data types, and we call it reference types because they refer to an object. The main difference between primitive and non-primitive data types are that primitive types are already defined in Java, but non-primitive types are created by program and is not defined in Java. The only exception for a type that is predefined is a string. So string is a class, so it's not defined as like for boolean. As you see, I move my mouse on boolean and I don't give any Java doc. Actually, it's just Java docking the variable. However, if I move my mouse on a string, it shows Java docs, means that it's a class being defined. Now, should we call it undefined or non-primitive? String is the only exception. It's a primitive type, okay? Now pay attention to this one. If I say int, integer, but with capital I, and I say it I equals to 10, it still works, but it's the type integer. And if I move my mouse on integer, you see that it's again a class. However, as I said, string is the only exception. Integer is non-primitive. Remember that. String is primitive, integer is non-primitive value. It's unboxing an int. If I say my text, and I'm not assigning anything there, and it says might not have initialized. If I run the application, you see that I get a problem, because although I'm saying that the string is primitive, but not assigning a value here means that my text is something that we call null. It's nothingness. Yes, there is a variable in memory called my text, but the contained value is nothing. It's not empty, because if I assign something like this, I mean, hey, this string is empty. Okay, I assign a value there. The value is empty string. But if I'm not doing it, then it says, hey, I don't have any value, not even an empty string. Okay. However, if I move, for example, this assignment for D1, let's move this one out, and print it. Again, you see that it says variable D might not have been initialized. Okay, let's move on. Let's see what if I don't assign boolean and I want to print it. So system.out.println my bool. Again, the same issue. So although different documents out there say that the primitive values, primitive types always have a value, that's not the case. That's really not the case. So keep that in mind. Different documentations refer to int, boolean, float, double, short, byte, and stuff like that as primitives, and they say that, hey, these will have default values. They will always have a value. So even if you don't assign a value, it will be 0, for example. That's not the case. They need to be defined, and if you don't define them, you will get errors in program. If you like these videos, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and turn on that bell so that when I publish a new video, you will get informed. Have fun, everyone. Bye.